And we're live.
Thumbs up, we're flying.
Yeah.
And a thumbs down before we even got started. Just
whatever, dude. I don't care. It's probably the guy that said I lie a lot at the end of the Texas Toast live stream.
You lie a lot about what?
Every once in a while, there's somebody over there.
That's me. Sorry.
Every once in a while, there's somebody on the Texas Toast live stream comments that thinks that I'm not paying attention or something, and they make disparaging comments about me like I'm not there. Which I think is
just to like stir up controversy, or just
maybe
they don't like you, or they think it's funny, or do we know?
Well, they can't not like me because they don't know me. What's up, everybody? This is our live stream that we do on Thursdays because this is the second live stream we've done this week because we did one on Tuesday. Thursday. We did one on Tuesday too.
No, we didn't.
Well, I did. Anyway, so yeah, so this is the live Q&A. We take some questions from Patreon. We take some questions from the YouTube member section. And then we take a bunch of questions in the comments from you. So if you have questions this evening, that you want to talk about or have, that you can put them in there, stick a bunch of question marks in front of it so that Leslie can see it and pick it out. And if you want to jump to the head of the line and get featured on the screen, you can use a super chat for that too. So yeah. Couple things we need to talk about. One is the class workshop that we're doing with Texas Toast Guitars in September. Matt and I have decided so that people, and Chris, so that people are, hopefully they want to do it more. This guitar that they're building, the Batfish back there that I've got hanging back there, is super, super cool. But not everybody wants that shape. So you can do basically the exact same thing, but you can do it in a telly too if you want.
The same but different.
Yeah. So the pickups remain the same. Somebody was asking in the other live stream, can I do it with a humbucker? No, you cannot. You can bring your own stuff and do whatever, but I think that's stupid because learning how to wind your own pickups is kind of the whole point. So it's going to be one telly pickup and one P90 pickup or two P90s. So those are the choices. So
period.
Yeah. And you'll get to, still pick colors and stuff and whatever you want to do. If you want to do a telly shape or if you want to do the Batfish thing, but all the hardware is going to stay the same, the whole thing. And he did say that if somebody wanted to bring their own bridge or whatever, you're not getting a discount. This is all inclusive. So you can bring your own pickups if you want, which I think is stupid. But if you wanted to do that, there's no discount because this is what it is because it's all provided. So just FYI. But adding the telly is kind of cool and it sounds pretty awesome. A 2P90 telly with hipshot hardware would be really stinking cool. And a telly with a P90 in the neck and a telly bridge pickup would be very cool as well. We actually get a lot of requests for when people order pickups from us, a lot of people buy that combination. A telly bridge pickup and a P90 neck pickup. That we sell a lot of that combo. So yeah, very cool. So anyway, I think the link is in the description still because I used the same description as last week because I knew we were going to be talking about this. So
how convenient.
Yeah, it's down there. You can sign up for that class. It's in September, and yeah, so we're going to jump in the van and drive out there and stay for a week and build a guitar because I think I'm going to build one too. So, yeah, pretty cool.
It's exciting.
It is very exciting. We got some people in there.
No, Gary, you don't have to bring your own pickups. You will be making pickups. But if you wanted a combination not available, you would have to bring your own.
Yeah. The whole idea is this is 100% inclusive. So the whole guitar, all of the hardware, hipshot hardware, and part of the class is you get to wind your own pickups for that guitar. Mm-hmm. So this is something different that Texas Toast hasn't ever done before. At least not in this way. We did a sort of in May, but refining it so that in a 5-day class, you can build a guitar from tip to tail, including winding your own pickups. So no, you don't have to bring anything if you don't want to.
Just yourself.
Yep. So, no, it's really cool.
Awesome.
I dig it a lot.
What's next?
What is next? Oh, the thumbnail. So, I put that thumbnail there not necessarily because I had anything on my mind to talk about, except I was hanging out. Okay, I kind of do. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine today, and I walked in his office, and he's Mr. Vintage Everything, right? And he's got a Spark on his desk.
Oh.
And I was like, "You got a Spark?" And he's like, "Yeah, that thing's actually pretty handy." And I was thinking about it. I guess I made that thumbnail yesterday or this morning. But anyways, there's a difference between like your dream rig and like if I'm going to build the perfect tone for what I envision to be that, which, you know, for a lot of us would be some huge stack of Marshalls or some vintage Fender amp or whatever, and some crazy guitar, right? But in real life, 99% of the time, we're not playing our dream rig, even if we could. Like, even if we own our dream rig, I bet 99% of the time, we got some other living room guitar and some other living room amp that is not that. And I want to know what that is for you. I'll tell you what it is for me in a few minutes, but I want to know what you have that you play the most. And maybe you only have one guitar, and that's cool too. But if you have more than one thing, or if you have, you know, what is the one thing that you just, you know, it kicks around the living room? You have the one that stands by the bed. You have the, you know, whatever one you grab the most and end up, you know, sitting on the couch watching the news, just strumming naturally. You know, what is that rig for you? I posted in the thumbnail part of mine, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. So get in the comments and leave that because I want to know what that is for you. Cool. I think it's interesting to find out.
You want to take some questions?
Yeah, let's go do the Patreon questions first, since they are the Patreon questions. So let's do those first. And if you have any questions for tonight, guitar tone related, guitar, anything, or any random questions, I don't care, put them down there or use a super chat.
All right.
Even you, thumbs down guy.
Shane. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. Your recent video touched on the topic of certain colors having better resale value than others. What would you say are the top 2 and bottom 2 colors?
Pink and purple seem to be the lowest. I know because I have a bunch of pink and purple guitars. I've not really tried to sell them, but they're the ones that people make fun of me the most for having, which I don't care because I like them. But that seems to be the thing. I think, let me know what you guys think in the comments. The answer to this question should be, what color will you never buy? And what is your, if a Strat or a Tele comes in X color or Y color, what's going to be your first choice? You know what I mean? I will not buy a Sunburst unless it's like a 57 Strat, like proper, you know, the Holy Grail kind of thing. I won't even buy a Sunburst Les Paul. I don't care about. I have one Sunburst guitar that was gifted to me many years ago, but I will not buy a Sunburst. So, other than that, I will always gravitate mostly towards stuff that people don't have, that is different than, if this is what most people are buying, then I don't want it. I want something else weird. That's why I got the rose colored Silver Sky, because everybody was getting the silver one. So like if you bought a Silver Sky, I think if you had a silver one, it would sell. If you had the green one, it would sell. But every guitar is different, right? Like, because they all come in different colors. I think white guitars sell pretty good. Silver guitars like Strats sell pretty good. Sunbursts sell really good because everybody but me likes them. And fancy wood, like PRS kind of fancy wood, seems to sell because everybody likes them. Even I don't have any fancy wood guitars because I don't care about that stuff. But
everybody's answers are so different.
Are they? I figured they would be.
Some folks aren't saying whether it's one they would buy or not. I don't remember what your actual question was. Gary Aruda says white. Deb Hart says, I'll never buy silver ever. Fat Philosopher says, I'm not big on sunburst. Dominic Brooks says brown or sunburst. Windsurf Maui, never buy pink. Love natural wood and candy apple red metallic. Fat Philosopher said, yeah, brown is boring. Albert Siva says, I love my shell pink Fender 60s original Strat.
Ooh.
I want a blackish Strat in 1996, a boring color, but I didn't say no. BC Rich 581 says, red is about the only color on guitars I don't like.
Wow.
Chuck C says, I don't like most Burst guitars. The only exception is his Sienna Burst Telly. Rusty says, yellow. Jeffrey Egan says, I don't think of a certain color I want. It's the look of the guitar when you first see it.
Oh, so overall, so it could be some crazy color, but like if the hardware color and the pick guard and everything and the fretboard and it all works together, he probably is into it. I get that too.
Fat Philosopher said he loves green guitars and purples are nice too. Mojo Rising 57 says all of them. Tone Dragon says pink with a throwing up emoji. Dastardly Dave doesn't like green or gold. BC Rich 581 said, forgot about yellow. Yeah, not a fan of that one either. Tone Dragon loves red. Yeah.
I think it depends on the guitar for me.
It's interesting that, I mean, some people are like, I hate red. I love red.
I love red.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really love sunbursts. I'll never buy a sunburst.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a right answer to that.
Well, okay, so fortunately, to ask Shane.
It's personal.
I was going to say, to answer Shane's question, it probably doesn't matter because there is, like in motorbike land, when I was in the motorbike business, we would always say there's an ass for every seat. Like, there's something.
It's for somebody.
Yeah, there's something for somebody. I think, the pinks and purples and weird colors like that are going to be harder because...
Dylan's trying to collect the rainbow, by the way.
Yeah, well, I got the whole sweet tart thing going back there right now. I've got the purple on the end and the light blue and the pink. Yeah, so I think we need like a pastel yellow and maybe an orange, and then we'd have like the whole sweet tart color.
I don't know. Some people said they don't like the yellow, so going out on a limb there.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, Rob. Dylan, I wish to thank you. You are one of a handful of content providers who convinced me to take up guitar again after 43 years. Wait, how old is Rob? I purchased my Strat
44.
late last September and now average 1 to 2 hours a day of practice. After 9 months, I am actually starting to sound musical and can play a few songs.
Well, dude, that's awesome.
I'm
glad that I can inspire somebody and that they will actually play some guitar now. That's really cool.
That's the same Rob I met, right? Is there another
I don't
Rob?
think so. No, this is a new Rob. This is a new Rob on Patreon.
I apologize.
Yeah, welcome, new Rob.
I met a previous Rob.
We have previous Rob and new Rob.
He has 43 years to make decisions in life. Like, I didn't think he was that old.
I don't know that previous Rob is actually 43.
No, I mean, he would have to be. Anyway, who knows?
Anyway, yeah, thank you.
Charles. My favorite rig would be a 1966 Country Gentleman through a silver-face Fender Super. My father has both, played many times as a kid. Today, it's my Epiphone, Epiphone 335 or Telecaster through a Fender Twin, but I settle for a Katana. Thanks for all you share, and thanks for all the time you spent with us.
His Epiphone 335 is the blue one that we had on the channel, which is a fantastic guitar. Blueberry Burst. Speaking of weird colors.
That was so pretty, though.
Yeah, it was a neat guitar. So he has had access to really good stuff, but just playing through a Katana is cool too.
Yeah. So, you want to hear what other people have?
Yeah.
Wayne Hussey, or whatever that's supposed to be. Gosh, I feel bad. I can't ever remember things. I don't even have an amp smaller than 40 watt. Dream rig for me is having a bit of everything and not having to choose.
I get that.
Tim Ziegler says a Jazzmaster and an orange amp.
Cool.
Dastardly Dave says, been enjoying my Spark Mini. Charles Kinsey says an Ibanez SG Epiphone SG, PV Strat, Gretsch, Dobro, Gretsch Jet.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Fat Philosopher says my Vox VT40 is easy to adjust the wattage.
Oh yeah.
Doc says my, quote, living room guitar changes regularly. Lately, the double P90 Telly is king, but the amp, 90% of the time, is a Boss Katana. I have a vintage Fender wet dry setup that is unreal, but rarely used.
Yeah. Reality, right?
Mark Stan said, yeah, I got a Spark Mini after your video. Love it. Awaiting the foot switch.
Oh, cool.
New Gun Guy says Esquire straight into a 57 Champ. Boom.
Ooh, yeah.
Tone Dragon says, love my Spark. Best practice tool ever. Dastardly Dave says, usually a Friedman JJ Jr. or a Mesa Dual Rec attached to a custom 2x12 with V30s. Usually a Jazzmaster, the one I made at Texas Toast Guitars.
The red one with the cool pick guard and the P90s in it.
I like that.
Yeah, guitar. Very cool.
And those were the ones I grabbed.
So there's 2 guitars in that list right there. Doc's Telly with the P90s and Dave's Telly, or Dave's Jazzmaster with the P90s. They made those guitars at Texas Toast.
Pickup.
And they were in the very first inaugural, very first time we ever did it, pickup making class. And it was really fun. And their pickups worked the first time. So, yeah, it was awesome. No, I was interested to see because kind of like what Doc was saying, he has a big, cool amp, but he ends up just playing through a Katana because it's easier.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I have a Katana 50 right here. And I have, which actually I don't ever use. If you want to buy that from me, let me know because it literally sits here. It's got labels on it still.
It's holding up the RC car.
Yeah, it's the RC car is on top of it. It's just sitting there.
It's a display case right now.
Pretty much. But the Spark, because I have a Spark 40 over here on the desk that I never ever use, but I don't want to sell because that's the second one I've had. And then I have the Spark Mini. And the Spark Mini, that thing is the coolest new little thing. And I've been using that in the living room with a runway audio cable and whatever guitar.
I like that it just hides behind the guitars. Like, it's not an amp that, like, takes up space.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, like, the little thing sitting on the floor.
You just chuck it over in the corner and it's not taking up any space. You don't have to plug it in.
It looks like you could, like, skip down the road with it.
Right.
It's so dainty.
Yeah. Put it on your arm, carry it like a purse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good. And then whatever guitar that is floating my boat at the time, right now has been the Fiore.
It's a funny thing for you to say.
What?
Floating.
Whatever floats my boat.
Yeah. But you don't float.
I guess not. And I've actually the other guitar I've been playing a lot is a video. The video comes out Monday. I have not actually talked about this guitar on the channel, really. The video comes out Monday, and it is the Close carbon fiber travel guitar. That thing, I bet that's the guitar I play more than any other guitar right now.
I was going to say, that video, we told you we were working on a new project. That video is part of that new project. So this was shot a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could do a follow-up video, because he literally has it in his hands all the time.
Yeah, it's so good. And what's funny about it is I have 3 guitars in the living room. I have, right now I think my Silver Sky is out there. My McPherson carbon fiber is out there. And my Close carbon fiber travel guitar is out there. And I switch between my McPherson between the 2 carbon fiber acoustics most of the time. That's really all I play, almost all the time. And then electric-wise, it's pretty much one of the PRSs usually. This blue guitar, this new one is so good, man. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, it's kind of funny, which is weird because it's been a long time since I've owned a guitar that I have not like immediately changed the pickups in. So, which is sort of weird, but.
Mm-hmm. Have you even opened it up?
I took the back cover off and I measured the pickups. Took some inductance measurements and capacitance and resistance measurements. because I want to make my version of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put regular Fiore pickups in a regular Strat because the flat work is all a different shape. But I've ordered the parts to try to make my own version of them because they are so good. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Fat Philosopher wants to know the best amp to use for busking, and I feel like somebody else would probably be better to answer that.
Yeah, because I don't really busk. That I tell you what, the little Positive Grid Spark Mini would do that.
You don't have to plug it in, right?
And it's loud, and you can get, I think, 8 hours of playtime off of a single charge.
I mean, you couldn't play that long, so.
No.
That's a long time.
Because I haven't plugged it in since I got it.
Really?
I charged it up overnight, the night before we left for Myrtle Beach.
Wow.
And I have not plugged it in since.
I mean, that's been almost a month ago, and you do
and I
fiddle
use
with it pretty
a lot.
regular.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So I have not. I've only charged it the initial time that I got it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Is there any other questions in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Rusty says, how do you know how much wire you need for any given sound?
That is all experimentation, and then once you get it sorted out, then you just have to document it. And then like how much wire you need, like for example, I just started this roll yesterday or 2 days ago. It's half gone already. This is 5 pounds of wire.
You've been busy.
We have been making a lot of pickups. So this is 5 pounds of wire. This is half gone already. And so then what I do is, like, for example, I had a big order. I had 2 big orders this week. We had to make 40 P90s, I think. 20 P90s. We had to make 20 P90s. And we had to make, was it 20 or 40?
20, right?
Yeah, it was 20. Hopefully, because that's what I build them. So 20 P90s, and I had to make 30 Strat pickups. And so once I get the recipe the way I want it, then I weigh an empty bobbin, and then I weigh a full bobbin, and I find out how many grams of wire is on each pickup, and then I can calculate, oh crap, I'm going to go through, when so-and-so orders, X amount of pickups in one shot, then I know how many pounds of wire I need for that order. As far as how much wire goes on each bobbin, literally that's, I will use some sort of vintage spec. I don't anymore. When I first started making pickups, I would use like some sort of vintage spec, like, 59 Les Paul, whatever, 5,000 winds per bobbin, blah, 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 this kind of wire. I'm so far removed from that now because we've designed our own stuff, and we don't clone or copy anybody's pickups. All the stuff that we have is my own wind counts, our own designs and everything. So it's all been sort of adjusted and experimented over time. But experimentation is the only way to get there. You cannot just say, I'm going to put this many winds on something and expect it to sound exactly like X or Y other pickup. It doesn't work that way.
Adam Knox wants to know, would overwinding the Telly pickup cut out some of the highs?
It depends. What I would probably do instead of that is I would use a different gauge wire and not put as many winds on it. I would use a different gauge wire if you wanted to make it darker. Yep.
Greg Lanham, cleaning up some old humbuckers. What's a good source for the paper and cloth winding tape?
Amazon. It's just masking tape. The paper tape is, I don't have a roll within arm's reach here, but it's just black masking tape. So you can get it on Amazon.
All right. I don't know what that says. So CAU 10, because then I read it.
Oh, right.
CAUT. Maybe it's supposed to be like cautine. I don't know what the X's are for. What do you think about the new Epiphone player guitars?
We put those in our news yesterday. I think that, in fact, that was the last story of the day. I think they are a fantastic idea. They are a 3/4 scale Les Paul and a 3/4 scale SG,
Mm-hmm.
but they are real humbuckers, real hardware, nickel hardware. They have real Epiphone, like normal size Epiphone pickups in them. They have trapezoid inlays just like adult guitars. I think they're really cool. Well, here's the thing. 3/4 scale guitars, and they're only like $279. So I think if you're going to figure out if you have a young child, I thought immediately of Owen, who is he going to be actually serious about playing guitar? You don't want to invest a bunch of money. And he's physically smaller, or he's grown now, but when he was little, he's physically smaller. So you want to give him a 3/4 scale guitar. The problem is most of those 3/4 scale guitars are like toys. And they don't, if your kid's trying to be like, I want to play like a guitar like dad does, or I want to play a guitar like mom does, this thing like has trapezoid inlays and it looks like a real guitar. Like all the controls are in the right place. And I think it would be properly inspiring to a little kid. Some of those 3/4 scale things are just kind of garbage. And I think it's great. And the price point is fantastic. For them. I would totally use my link in the description and buy one.
Rusty, have you ever used the Q filter tone?
Filtertron, probably?
I don't know. It says tone.
I would say that would be... I have not because... Yeah, I'm not a huge Filtertron fan, so I don't really go... I don't really go that way.
New gun guy, will you ever make a side-by-side coil strap pickup? Like 3 pole pieces per coil.
3 pole pieces per coil side by side. We do a humbucker like that. It's called our Slant 6. And I probably will not do that with strap pickups. We do a humbucker that way though.
The guitar hangout. Dylan and Leslie. I have a vintage humbucker pickup, but the lead is a little too short to fit in some of my guitars. In your opinion, does it hurt the value when you extend the braided lead?
Okay. I don't care about value.
Oh, you don't think he means the output? He means dollar value?
Oh, wait.
It does say value.
Okay, so let's talk about both. It will not mess with the pickup if you do it right. Just make sure it doesn't short out. There are all kinds of wacky people who think that the length of the wire makes it. Just fix it and put it in your guitar. Value-wise, I don't know. It depends if it's a vintage pickup, like if it's like out of a 59 Les Paul, then it probably does affect it. However, value notwithstanding, and if you want to use the thing and you cannot use it, make it usable. And I stand by that for any vintage anything. If it's broken, it's broken. Make it usable. So yeah, and then he might actually be meaning the actual value of the pickup, like the resistance and stuff, and that's, you'll be fine. That won't hurt anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're not sure what value, but I think we covered all
values. All the values.
Dominic Brooks. All other things equal, what difference does magnet position make in a pickup? Under coil a la Gibson versus through coil a la Fender.
It makes a big difference because the strength of the magnet is hugely affected. Humbuckers do not have as strong of magnets in them at the strength.
So you can't say all things are equal, first of all.
You can't.
Because that's what he tried to do.
Yeah. You cannot say that because the magnets are totally different types, as in dimensions and everything. And at the string, a humbucker is much, much, much weaker than a single coil Strat, for example.
So then shape and strength do matter.
Yep, and effective distance.
Yeah. So
And a humbucker is way, way, way further away than, because it has to go through a bunch of parts to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird.
That was.
Dave S. says, opinion on potted versus unpotted humbucker for a Les Paul.
Depends what you're going to do with it. This goes again to the usable thing. I'm about to do a video on this. This is on my list, my short list, to do a video on potted and unpotted, and also covered versus uncovered pickups. Potted, unpotted, there is a tone difference, not in the actual value and stuff of the pickup as much as there is that microphonic thing does a thing and it makes the guitar act different. That will go away some depending on the construction of the pickup. Cheap pickups are worse, good pickups are better when you wax pot it. That being said, this goes again to, do you want to use the guitar or not? Because if you don't wax pot the pickup and you like how it sounds and you play at home, then it's probably fine. Then you take the same guitar and go play a gig with it and it squeals and goes all over the place and you can't manage it, then the guitar is not usable. So I want to do a video on this so I can show you what happens inside of a pickup when it's potted versus not. But it's all about how you're going to use it. If you're going to stand in front of a super loud amp, you need to pot it. If you're going to play at home, like with direct out, like this hooked up to the computer, then you'll be fine.
Windsurf Maui says, do you adjust the magnet strength for tone consistency, or are the specs wide enough that the magnets don't affect it that much?
Magnet is hugely, hugely, hugely has a huge effect on the pickup. That is, in how we design pickups, I would say it's probably more than the winding. I would say wire diameter and insulation thickness and magnets are more important to me in how I design stuff than how many winds are on it. I could vary a pickup by a percentage wind count and you would never know. And I could vary which would also vary the DC resistance, which you would never know. But if I changed the magnet, you would know immediately. if you were tuned into that, I could get away with cheating you on the winding, or sneaking something past you on the winding. But if you had an ear, the magnet would be where you would catch it first.
Yeah. Doc says, could you make a humbucker using a Fender style slug magnet construction rather than traditional bar magnet version?
Yeah, we did that. Remember that guitar that went to Florida? The silver one with the carbon fiber pick guard, and then we did a black neck on it for Mark Lorenzo. That I built a guitar probably 6 years ago or something, and we made a set of those because that's what he wanted, and they were amazing, and they sounded really good, but they were really a pain to make, and so I don't know that it's something I would do on the whole. However, our Slant 6 kind of took the place of that to get that same kind of sound.
Rusty said, what is your favorite fuzz pedal?
I don't know that I have enough experience with fuzz to tell you. I think like a regular Russian Big Muff is like, I want just like a straight fuzz. Like I know people like tone benders and like all kinds of other stuff. But I think if I'm going to have a fuzz, it's going to be a telly. Neck pickup. Russian big muff.
Mr. Goat says wide range in a 335.
Our version of that would be a slant 6, and I would totally do it.
Darren West says wide range humbucker. Can you give a definition of what one is versus a normal humbucker, please?
As a matter of fact, I can. Please hold.
And it is wide range season, y'all. I saw what's his face's post today when he got his guitar.
Oh, good.
He was like, it's wide range season.
That's right. So this is a wide range humbucker. I have a regular one in arm's length to me. Okay. So this is actually not a real wide range. This is a made in Mexico wide range. But let's pretend that this was a real wide range. So let's just, through the power of imagination, this is a real wide range from 1972. It is not the same size. It is physically bigger. The bobbins
Than a humbucker.
Than a humbucker. The bobbins are actually physically bigger also, and they take up this bigger box, okay? These screws, the way a normal humbucker works is your screws go in and your slugs go in, and then we were just talking about this, how the magnet is in the bottom down here, and the metal screws and slugs stick down through and sit next to the magnet down here, and they magnetize that way. A real wide range pickup from 1972 or a modern Cuneife Fender wide range pickup that costs about $230 or $250 right now has not Alnico magnets but Cuneife magnets, which is cobalt, nickel, and iron. And they don't have a bar underneath. These are actually the magnets. And contrary to popular belief, there are 6 that go all the way across. You just can't see 3 of them. So there are 6. There's 6 that go all the way through, all the way across. And so they sound more single coily because they have just, I think Doc asked earlier about magnetic pole pieces in a humbucker instead of having the bar underneath with the screws. These will sound more like single coils, but be quiet, which is what they were trying to do at Fender. Was they wanted a humbucker to keep up with Gibson marketing wise, but they didn't want it to sound like a Gibson. They still wanted it to sound like a Fender. So making these magnetic poles, and the reason they use Cuneife instead of Alnico is because Cuneife can be machined to have threads in it and the little screw tops. That's really the only reason, because it's machinable. As you have seen lately, Alnico is really, really, really hard. Mm-hmm. We're grinding some magnets here, and it like tears up a grinding wheel because Alnico is so hard. These import ones, so the made in Mexico ones and then the made in China ones, are actually just regular humbuckers stuck in a wide range case with the magnet underneath, and they sound terrible. So that's why during wide range season, a couple of times a year, you can send them in, and we take them all apart and we rewind them. We replace the bobbins, we replace everything but the covers and the base plates, and we make them all awesome, and they sound great. And so there's a pile of them over here on the floor, and that is wide range season.
Cool. Jason Albert says, I have an 80s guitar with an 80s DiMarzio Super Distortion. The guitar hums like it has a bad ground, but I haven't found any. Is this just a noisy pickup?
No, it's probably a bad ground. It's probably...
Can't find it.
Yeah, I would go touch all the solders. I mean, like with a hot soldering iron. Don't just go in there and touch it with your finger. Go touch all the solders with a hot soldering iron and see if you've got a cold solder in there. because that could cause a bad ground. It could look okay, and it could measure like continuity, but the resistance could be high enough in the solder because it's a bad solder that it could cause you to have noise.
Tonefish says, how hot is a 6.3K Alnico 5 strap bridge? I haven't installed them yet. I'm afraid they will be too hot for me.
Depends what too hot for you means, but when we use a 6.3K strap bridge, they're not that hot. They sound awesome. Yeah, I think you'd probably be fine.
Wayne Hussey says, your wide range mod only has 3 magnets in each bobbin, right? And 3 screws, so it's kind of a slant 6?
No. Nope. No. It is what you see there, only different windings and different magnet.
Gary Aruda, have you ever considered a double lipstick tapped for slide use?
Yeah, we have made exactly one.
He loves to make lipstick
I
pickups.
hate lipstick pickups. Worse than Filtertrons. And that is why I do not make either of those pickups, because I cannot stand to make them. I will make it, but it's going to be $250, and you have to pay them, and nobody wants to pay it. So the reason I don't make Filtertrons is because the parts are so expensive. And the reason I don't make lipstick stuff is because they're just too much of a pain.
They look so cool, though.
They do look cool.
Adam Knox says, my cat always chills out when you guys live stream. I think he likes you. We like cats.
Sweet. We like cats.
Michelle Frogan, there's a myth that old lace sensor pickups are better than new ones. What's your opinion?
I think they all suck, but I don't know that that is true. I have had and I have played new ones and old ones, and they all sound the same to me. Like, literally, they all sound the same.
Mr. Coates said, I don't busk as a t-shirt. Rusty said, thoughts on TV Jones Starwood PAF?
I am not informed on TV Jones stuff. He was mean to me before, so I don't really care. You guys reminded me of something really quick. When somebody said something.
While you're looking up that, Wayne Hussey said, I think I have the last Dylan lipstick. I think that is true.
I think that is true. I do believe that you are correct. It is under...
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Gear.
New shirt.
I got a new shirt. I designed it last night, and I'm really proud of it. And it is pretty cool.
You have to show the blue one. Makes more sense to
show the blue one. Oh, because of the
color scheme.
Because of the color scheme. Let's see if we can do this right. Yeah, check that out. I think that's a pretty cool shirt. I'm pretty proud of that. And there's a Dylan Pickups logo on the back.
Ooh, yeah. Fancy.
I figured that would be the coolest way to do that without, like...
Is that the old school logo,
yeah,
too?
Yep, that's the
How about that?
OG logo.
OG.
So, anyway. There you go. You can go to DylanTalksTone.com and go to the Dylan Gear section. And you can buy that shirt. So hopefully
Charles Wallace said he's ordering one tomorrow. That feels like a Charles Wallace shirt.
It does. Oh, because he's a mechanic too.
That's cool.
Dave Chenzoff, Dastardly Dave ordered one last night.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw something.
I wasn't even home, y'all.
I think I saw somebody that like, said good vibes.
Boom, new shirt. I was like, dang.
I saw somebody with the Goodyear logo, and maybe it said good vibes.
Makes sense.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, dude, good tone. And then just put wings on the little guitar.
Dude, good tone.
So I had to go and find the font and like slant it, skew it and all that. I'd figure it all out, but it was fun to design that one. I like that one.
Austin Green says, does a metal cover on a P90 make a tonal difference versus a plastic cover?
Okay. I personally would put plastic on it, and here's why. On a P90, because we get this question all the time because people want me to put nickel covers on them, and I won't do it. Because on a P90, the cover doesn't attach to the pickup. It can slide off. And one of the reasons you'll get feedback and squealing is because the movement of the cover on the pickup. So I would not use a metal cover on a P90. I think they're really cool. And we've done, like, our special run ones have mesh, but you can get away with that. But even that, we had a hard time with perfecting that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I wouldn't, again, here you go, though. If this is a guitar that you're building for yourself and you're playing it at home and you're using it in the studio and stuff and you're not in super loud environments, you could get away with it. And fortunately, it's 2 screws and it like slides off and then you can just put a plastic one on. But I'm not going to sell metal covered ones. We did it a couple of times. People had problems with them feeding back, and I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Tonefish says, I built a telly with a 4-way Fender twisted telly pickups. The neck position sounds thin. Any ideas?
Probably have it hooked up wrong. I have done that by accident. There's 3 wires in there. There's a black wire, a white wire, and a yellow wire, I believe. And there are 3 coils in there, or 2 coils in there. And it sounds probably like you have it out of phase with itself, which probably means that you just have one of the wires. It's probably the white and the yellow wire need to be switched.
Rusty, does tremolo block material affect tone? Steel versus brass.
I have a video coming about that too. I don't know that it's going to affect tone very much as it will affect. This is one of those things where you play the guitar differently because it will feel different. So then your tone will be different. It's not a, you have changed the electromagnetism and all of the juju that makes an electric guitar work. It's just that you're like, oh dang, this thing plays way different. It feels different. It'll vibrate different in your hands. Like, it will change how you play. So in that respect, yes, it will change tone. Scott and I were talking about that today with because he has a custom shop Strat at the shop, and I brought my Fiore, and we were playing them back to back, and he's like, "Oh, your trem is way better."
Where's the videos?
I didn't make any. It was literally like a catching up with my friend kind of time. But we were playing, and his trem just wasn't as good as the PRS one, even though it was a custom shop Strat. And it was because of how it felt. It was like the weight of it and like how long the arm was and just all these weird things. And you're like, yeah, you're playing different, so that's why it'll be different.
George Ward says, in my experience, solid state digital amps don't have that filling tube tone with single coil or hums. But for some reason, mini hums and P90s react differently and sound really good. Any reason why?
I mean, they're just different pickups. And I think this goes back again to how you play that guitar. Because there will be somebody else like me who will say I disagree with you. And it's not because either of us is right. I think it's because what I get out of a guitar and an amp combination is different than what you can get out of an amp and guitar combination. Mm-hmm. My buddy that I was talking to today, he loves these Mesa Boogie. It's not the Lone Star. I can't remember. And I hate his amps. Every time I play through his amp, I've sat in with him at gigs and stuff, and I'm like, I hate this amp. This amp sucks. But he sounds fantastic through it. And so I think it's just how each of us plays and gets whatever we get out of the instrument. I mean, there's going to be a million people that disagree with you and say that humbuckers and single coils don't sound thick enough through a digital setup. I disagree with that. But it's just how you play the thing, And I'm not saying sucking playing versus good playing. I'm just saying we all lean on the guitar differently, you know.
Kenneth Crickmore, is there such a thing as a 3-coil bobbin humbucker, half again the size of a normal 2-coil version?
Yeah, what was that thing called? It was called like a Def Bucker or Whole Lotta Bucker or something. Somebody made for a while with 3 coils in it. Yeah, I've never gone into that.
F, what are your thoughts on Sidewinder humbucker technology? Bill Lawrence L250, our blade humbucker has 2 pickup coils that horizontally sandwich the magnet blade. What is that about?
I have another friend in New York that was really into that design too, and I've never played with it that much. But what you can do is you can get a humbucking P90 package that fits that way with 2 Firebird bobbins. The reason I don't make any of that stuff is because
Trisonic, Ivan says.
Trisonic, yeah. Yep. Well, the Burns Trisonic is different. That's actually like an air coil. With magnets in the middle. I don't make that stuff because most of the time that is to get like humbucker into a P90 package. And when you try to put one format of pickup into another hole, people expect that that is going to sound the same, and it will never sound the same because the coil dimension is different, the magnet dimensions are different. All of those things matter. When you change the height of a pickup by 1/16 of an inch, it changes the sound. So what makes you think that flipping 2 different size bobbins sideways and sticking them into a P90 package is going to make it sound like a P90? It will not. And so I don't go down that road because I don't want people to be like, well, you said it was this, but it doesn't really sound like that. I'm like, well, it doesn't. It's not supposed to.
Windsurf Maui, do you think sand cast humbucker magnets are better for tone, or is it just a strength issue no matter how they are made?
Doesn't matter.
Adam Knox, would it be worth it to coil tap a P90? Are there too few windings to have it make sense, or overwind it and then tap it?
I've done that a few times. Actually, I have a pickup right over there that I did that with a couple weeks ago. The reason I don't do those is because it barely makes a difference. It's kind of funny. Like, you'd have to use like 1/3 of the windings and then add the next 2/3. A lot of people think that you would add it like 3/4 full and then add another 25%. Well, if you only knock 25% of the windings off, you can't really tell. It's got to be half or less. So it can work, but I don't like the resulting half tone. The whole tone sounds great because it's a regular P90, but I don't like the resulting cut tone enough to develop it further.
John Rogers says, and he also put his name as JDriver389. Dylan, the covered Super 8s and Strat pickups are perfectly balanced and sound galactically amazing. Thanks again.
What did he get? Oh, awesome. Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Doc says, pineapple on pizza or not? I hate it. My daughter loves it, but I'm old. Thoughts on how it affects tone? Ha ha.
I am for pineapple on pizza. Yeah, I'm for it. But
we never get it.
But
we will both eat it.
We will, yep. However, it is I'm in the mood for that right now.
Yeah.
Not I will always order it like that.
Right. I can't think of the last time we did it.
Yeah.
It's been a really long time.
How it affects tone, I think it's distracting. Because it's its own thing. Like, it's literally like...
It messes up the flavor profile of everything else.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it makes your beer taste weird. Or different. It
Yeah,
changes.
And also, don't order dill pickle beer with your pizza.
Yeah, I
Just
did
saying.
that. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. My son's fiance said, "Hey, you should try this dill pickle beer." She was my server, and I tried it, and it was really good for like 5 sips, and then it was like after that I couldn't have it anymore. Yeah. That was the last time I had beer, actually.
What?
I think
Really?
so. Mm-hmm.
It ruined you?
Well, beer kind of ruins me, so I don't really drink it that much.
I think we are caught up.
It is already 5 till 9.
It's 5 till 9, and we're caught up. So you just have a
And-
couple minutes. What do you need to wrap up with?
I don't
It's
know.
wide range season. What
Yep.
else is going on?
Not one super chat tonight?
Not one.
Wow. Yeah. That's probably it. We're getting caught up on some stuff. We had 2 big orders come through that I had to knock out. So we've got made a bunch of Strat stuff today for you all. I'm making a single hump pick guard that I've got sitting there for a customer. We've got some P90s that we're making early next week. And then next week, I am taking care of all of the wide range season stuff that have come in over the last week or two. I am really happy to say, I was looking at this today, actually. Brianna and I were talking about this at lunch. I am very happy to say that our...
Go ahead.
What?
Super chat.
Oh. Thanks, Doc.
Doc.
One.
Thank you for the super chat, Doc.
I am very happy to say that our oldest order is July 12th. So we are 14 days out,
Cool.
that's about where I like to keep it. Thanks, Ivan.
Fan Check Guitars, thank
deep
you
fried pickles for the
the
win.
super chat. He
Yes.
said deep fried pickles for the win. Yeah.
Actually, between those 2 super chats, we could go get some deep fried pickles.
Mm,
That sounds really good.
that does sound good. I would want beer, though.
Jason. The power of suggestion or
man.
Or whatever.
Sympathy?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you for the super
Yeah,
chat,
thank
Jason
you.
Albert.
Yeah, so I'm really stoked that, because I think people were even like, he's so busy. Is he going to have time to make stuff?
Yes, send it to him.
Yeah, bring it on, man. I'm really stoked. We like to keep it at about 2 weeks.
No, we like to keep it within 2 weeks, and we're within 2 weeks now.
Just about, yeah. And actually, the only order that's more than 2 weeks old is one that's got some special order stuff.
Y'all are awesome. Paul McNary, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah. So, y'all are hilarious.
Doc said
This
we
is
can
awesome.
get some beers too.
We might.
Thank you for the super chat.
It's open mic night.
Gary, thank you for the super chat. He said, thanks, Dylan. See you next week, Leslie.
Heck yeah. I like having her on Thursdays still. We're still going to do the Tuesday thing, which is me, which was really fun.
Interrupting you. Thomas Torville, thank you for the super chat. He said, love the loaded pick guard.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Very cool.
Y'all are amazing. That was funny.
Yeah, that is funny and fun.
And it looks really cool, like, because it like shows you all the
colors.
And yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had that happen like all in a row like that.
No, you guys are awesome.
Oh gosh, we have another one. Thank you for the super chat, Jason. Jason says it's now super chat season.
That's a t-shirt.
Ooh, that's a t-shirt. Can you get like a QR code to go with it or something?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I don't know what Doc said. He retracted his message.
Oh, wait.
That makes me extra.
Should I get shirts that have QR codes on them?
Oh, Doc's making us accountable. He said, Instagram the beers.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll have to get off of here and jump in the car and head downtown. And we will Instagram some beers. Because it is open mic night tonight.
It is open
So,
mic night.
Maybe I'll bring my baby carbon fiber guitar or my big carbon fiber guitar. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. You guys, this has been super fun. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments after the thing is over. Not in the chat, but in the comments below. And I should say we had some new folks with new folks in the live stream, the Patreon hangout this week, which was really, really cool. We talked about wiring. We will put that. We have a level on Patreon that'll see that in the replay next month. So yeah, we have some really cool stuff happening.
True Southerner now, y'all. This is like the third goodbye.
Yep.
Late.
And new video on Monday. New video editor.
It's gonna be cool.
I think you're gonna like it. I did not edit it.
Peek.
It's good. We'll see y'all.